The police continue to search for a missing high school freshman who disappeared earlier this week. Her name is Elizabeth Thomas. She disappeared with her teacher, Tad Cummins, who's a 50-year-old. And here is the original tweet put out by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. She's a high school freshman. Her teacher was with her. Some additional facts. They disappeared with her on March 13th. He took $4,500 out from the bank right before this happened. He has now been put on Tennessee's most wanted list. There have been additional photos released that were found recently of him. There's a $1,000 reward if you find anything about this and his Nissan Rogue with the tags 976ZPT. You're to call 1-800-TBI-FIND. So those are some facts about what happened with them. And his wife made a statement saying, Tad, this is not you. This is not who you are. We can help you get through this no matter how far you've gone or what is happening right now. God's grace is sufficient for you and he wants you to come home. He was dismissed from his job at the high school on the 14th. Additionally, the father was kept in the dark by the school for a week after allegations arose that the girl was seen kissing her teacher. Those allegations weren't able to be confirmed, but teachers spoke out about their abnormal relationship. And she was suspended in school, but it was revealed later that apparently they were allowed to stay in touch during that suspension.
Yeah, so there's a couple parts of the story that I don't agree with. It's a weird thing to say, but let me explain. So when his wife says, Tad, this is not you, agree to disagree. So it's not the Tad that you know, and I know she's going through a really rough spot here, I get it, right? And not her fault at all, the wife's fault. But people have a lot of stuff hidden away, man, and it doesn't mean that it's not them. People have different personalities for their friends, their family, their wife, and apparently for this guy, for 15-year-old girls that he's teaching, okay? So maybe it is him, and they say this is not God's plan for you. Well, got a curious way of showing it, okay? And then everybody's like, oh, he's armed. Yeah, he's from Tennessee. It's horrific what has happened here, but they make, I don't know, maybe the reason I guess I have a slight objection to it is because it makes it seem like he took her at gunpoint, but there's a decent amount of evidence that that's not how it went down. There's allegations of kissing. Why would somebody else make that up? And then I don't know.
That was from a student, but a teacher did say that while the door was always open when they were meeting, the teacher one, as they're referred to in the report, said there should have been a better boundary between his role as a friend and a teacher. He should have stayed the teacher, implying, and not become so much of a friend to this 15-year-old girl. They said that those boundaries were breached. And that's an important thing to do. Going through high school, I knew folks, there were some inappropriate relationships between teachers and students. And it's, I can't blame the student. I gotta blame the teacher who's crossing these boundaries, because your job as that authority figure in whom parents, administrators have given their trust to look after these kids, you need to respect that, and you need to be a positive influence in this person's life, no matter how romantic you think that relationship is, and no matter how much you love teaching Lolita because you identify with it. That is not your place.
Yeah, I think the way this was handled just entirely was terrible. Just the way that the school intervened, the fact that the parent wasn't notified until a week after the allegations about them kissing happened. And then him calling her a really good friend in the report, which is a red flag, right? Like, you can't be really good friends with any 16-year-old.
Right, she might have been really good at math.
Possibly, but he steps into this kind of counseling role with her, and you can't there's guidance counselors there's people who've been professionally trained to handle these kinds of relationships. Should she need that kind of intervention, which the report seems to suggest that she was going to him for some kind of counseling or she was having some kind of emotional episode. So all of this was just poorly handled, and it's kind of a theme, just the way that schools in general, not just high schools, but also you mentioned professor at first, but universities deal with sexual assault and deal with inappropriate relationships between students and teachers.
Yeah, I mean, at universities you have the problem of the power dynamic that Brett talked about, but at least they're all adults. This is a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
So like. And the father also apparently found messages between one another on their phones, on her phone, right? So this is there was something going on. But I want to be super clear about this. Just because she might not have been taken at gunpoint, and there might have been something going on, doesn't mean that anyone is responsible for it other than the teacher, the 50-year-old.
Right.
Right. No, you don't get to kidnap 15-year-olds or have them or convince them to run away with you. He did take out a whole $4,500. Loan before he did this, so I mean they're good to go for a week or two. So this is obviously poorly conceived plan and disastrous possible consequences. So finally, I do agree with the wife. Get your ass home before something much worse happens.
You know who's going to stop Trump, stop the establishment, stop the corruption? You are. You help us hire new investigative reporters, and we will unleash it on them. tytnetwork.com/go. Let's build the best journalism team in America.